A plane descends through fog. The pilot can't see the runway, but the system can. A rescue team searches for a missing child. They don't know where to look, but the satellite does. You're lost in a foreign city at midnight. You don't speak the language, but your phone knows exactly where you are. That precision, that certainty, that trust, it came from a black woman working in a classified government facility while the world pretended she didn't exist. Her name is Dr. Gladys Mae West, and everything you think you know about GPS is missing her. This is Black Antiquity. Here's what you need to understand about rural Virginia in 1930. Black excellence wasn't celebrated, it was suspected. Gladys Mae Brown was born in Dinwiddie County in a world designed to keep her small, the kind of place where futures were decided at birth, where black children were trained for labor, not legacy, where dreaming beyond the cotton field was considered dangerous. Her parents were sharecroppers. They worked land that would never belong to them. They bent their backs under a sun that offered no mercy. And they watched their daughter with a knowledge that burned quietly. Education was the only escape route. Gladys understood this before she could name it. She watched her mother's hands crack from field work. She watched her father disappear into exhaustion every night. She watched adults sacrifice their bodies so their children might inherit something better than survival. And she made a decision that would change the world. She would never live that life. So she studied, not casually, not when it was convenient, relentlessly. She devoured books in a one-room segregated schoolhouse where resources were scarce and belief in black potential was scarcer. She taught herself mathematics in a system designed to teach her limitation. She became valedictorian of her high school, not because the system believed in her, but because she outworked it. That single achievement, that defiant act of excellence, earned her a scholarship to Virginia State College, one of the few institutions in America willing to educate black brilliance. She saw what others couldn't see, that excellence could be armor, that numbers could be freedom, that a mind sharp enough could cut through any barrier built to contain it. Gladys earned her bachelor's degree in mathematics in 1952, then her master's, at a time when black women were funneled into teaching roles or erased from professional life entirely. She refused the script. In 1956, she walked through the doors of one of the most powerful research institutions on Earth, the U.S. Naval Surface Warfare Center in Dahlgren, Virginia. She was the second black woman ever hired there, one of only 4 black employees in the entire facility, and the only black woman mathematician in the room. Let that sink in. This wasn't inclusion. This wasn't progress. This was tolerance. Her presence was an experiment. Her competence, a test. She was surrounded by white men who had never worked alongside someone who looked like her, who had never been forced to consider that genius could exist in a body they'd been taught to overlook. Her job was not to be seen. It was to calculate, and calculate she did. But here's where the story gets interesting, and where most people stop paying attention. Gladys wasn't just hired to crunch numbers. She was hired to solve a problem that would define the future of global navigation, a problem so complex, so mathematically violent, that it required someone who understood that precision is the difference between life and death. In the height of the Cold War, the U.S. military faced an issue that sounds deceptively simple. How do you pinpoint an exact location on a planet that won't sit still? Earth is not a perfect sphere. It's an oblate spheroid. It bulges at the equator. It wobbles on its axis. It shifts with tides and gravitational pulls. Satellites orbit a shape that refuses to be mathematically convenient. And if you couldn't model Earth with extreme accuracy, If your equations were off by even a fraction, navigation systems would fail. Missiles would miss their targets. Planes would drift off course. Ships would vanish into the ocean. The future of warfare, aviation, and global communication depended on one thing: mathematics so precise it could map a moving, imperfect planet. That responsibility didn't fall on a team of Ivy League PhDs. It didn't fall on decorated military scientists. It fell on Gladys West, a black woman from a sharecropping family who had been told her entire life that she didn't belong in rooms like this. But she was the only one who could solve it. Before supercomputers, before automation, before GPS was even a term people understood, Gladys West was programming room-sized computers by hand. She worked with raw satellite data, processing altimeter readings from GEOS 3 and CSAT satellites. She developed complex algorithms to model Earth's exact shape, its geoid. She calculated the curvature of the planet. She corrected for atmospheric refraction. She accounted for gravitational anomalies. She refined orbital paths. She took chaos and turned it into coordinates. Her work was the foundation for the global positioning system. Without her calculations, satellites would transmit noise instead of knowledge. GPS would not exist. But here's the part that should make you angry. No one was saying her name. While she was creating the mathematical backbone of a technology that would revolutionize human civilization, her contributions were buried, classified, credited to the team, credited to institutions, credited to machines. She spent decades translating the language of the cosmos into something humans could navigate by, and the world gave her invisibility in return. Gladys West didn't hold press conferences. She didn't appear in tech magazines. She didn't get interviewed by journalists eager to tell the story of the brilliant woman reshaping the future. Her work was classified, her name buried under layers of bureaucracy and acronyms, her contributions absorbed into institutional glory. She was doing foundational work for a technology that would eventually guide the entire world, while remaining invisible inside it, even after earning a PhD in public administration while working full-time, even after publishing critical research, even after 42 years of service. Her name stayed out of textbooks. GPS became a household tool, a global standard, a billion-dollar industry. She remained unknown. That wasn't an accident. That was design. Because here's what history does to black women. It takes their labor. It takes their genius. It takes their irreplaceable contributions, and it writes them out of the story. It builds monuments to innovation, but erases the innovators. It celebrates the technology, but deletes the mathematician. And when the history books are written, their chapters are left blank. Gladys West worked at the Naval Proving Ground for over 4 decades. She contributed to CSAT, the first satellite designed to monitor the oceans. She worked on projects that shaped modern warfare, modern aviation, modern rescue operations, modern commerce, modern life itself. She retired in 1998, quietly, the way she had worked her entire career. No farewell tours, no Lifetime Achievement Awards, no documentaries, no front page headlines reading, "The woman who made GPS possible retires after 42 years." She returned to the same Virginia countryside she had escaped, believing her work was simply a job well done, not a revolution. That's what systemic erasure accomplishes. It makes architects believe they were merely assistants. It convinces the woman who mapped the world that she just happened to be in the room when history was being made. It wasn't until 2018, 20 years after her retirement, that the truth began to surface. A member of her sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha, was compiling a profile on her and stumbled across something shocking. This quiet, humble woman was the hidden architect of GPS. The story spread, slowly at first, then undeniably. In 2018, Dr. Gladys West was inducted into the Air Force Space and Missile Pioneers Hall of Fame. Only then did the world begin to understand the system they relied on every single day to find restaurants, to navigate cities, to track their children, to call for help in emergencies, was built by a black woman who had been erased from the narrative. She herself said in an interview, "I didn't realize how significant my work was until others explained it to me." Read that again. The woman who made GPS possible didn't know she had changed the world. That is what erasure does. It doesn't just remove you from history, it removes you from your own story. But the recognition came late, painfully late, but undeniable. The Smithsonian featured her. Virginia State University named a residence hall after her. Her story was finally told, and millions of people suddenly understood that the invisible dot guiding them home had an invisible woman behind it. Every blue dot on your screen is a quiet testimony. Every safe landing, every rescue mission, every route home, every reunited family, every life saved by precise coordinates. That precision was not accidental. It was calculated. By a woman the world tried to forget. They erased her name. They credited the machine. They celebrated the system. But systems don't think. People do. And before the world was mapped digitally, she mapped it mathematically. Dr. Gladys Mae West, architect of GPS, guardian of accuracy, daughter of sharecroppers. Proof that black women have always shaped the future, even when history pretended otherwise. Gone, but not forgotten. Thank you for helping humanity find its way home. You are gone, but your work lives on forever. The next time you open your phone and that blue dot appears, remember her name. Dr. Gladys Mae West, the woman who mapped the world. Black Antiquity, where black legends are remembered. Like, share, and subscribe for more.